Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the 2A
Hey,
Brotherhood
welcome
podcast.
to
We're so
Two-Way
excited.
Brotherhood.
Welcome, guys. Hey,
Welcome,
you know what? We're so sorry we missed
welcome.
last week.
It's like I'm playing.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that wonderful show. It's like we're talking over each other because it's like the audio is coming in at different times. Welcome, welcome. Okay, you go ahead. All right, go. All right, never mind. But yes, we couldn't make it last week. A lot of stuff going on, but we're here this week. Um, we had issues with a guest, a returning guest, but we won't mention any names or anything. But we're here now, so we love you guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, and he just has to reschedule.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got that.
Here we go.
I sound
Everybody,
like RFK out this motherfucker.
dude, have you seen that dude's abs? He's like shredded.
Yeah, because he's
Like,
on the
on the juice.
sauce.
He's ripped.
That dude is on the
Juice.
sauce, homie.
Like you would not know from the neck up.
Well, that's what I aspire to be that
Bro,
fucking old and be that good in shape.
Does he
And the
have
only way to do that,
listen,
the only way to do that is to have the sauce.
the
bro.
Vitor treatment?
He's got
I don't
that
know about
government
that.
money, man. He's got that government money.
Does he
Yeah,
have the,
no,
does he
I
have the
was
word
showing you.
rage?
No,
He seems
no,
like a very
it just,
mild-mannered guy. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like,
dude, it's only if you're a fucking asshole already.
Yeah.
If you're a hot-headed fucking fucktard, it just exacerbates that.
Yeah.
Never mind
Listen.
Trent is a whole different
Well,
different monster.
you have to
Yeah.
trend hard, eat clean, and never do.
No, but that BPC-157, he's RFK is trying to make that like it's not illegal, right? But he's trying to make it like more accessible to people
Mm-hmm.
for like lower prices because right now it's really hard to get it besides like from like these clinics, longevity clinics and shit like that, and they charge out the asshole.
Yeah.
Seriously.
How much is
But
out
that's
the
the
asshole?
I have no idea. Probably like 2, 3, 400. Dude, before I got on TRT through a doctor, I went to this clinic. They
The
told me it was
BP.
gonna cost me. This dude told me that it was gonna cost me $1,000 a month. I was
What?
like, what the
Heck
fuck,
no.
dude? I went through my doctor, right?
Mhm.
I pay like $80 for 6 months.
It'll be cheaper.
That's
to
how much they
a month.
upcharge, right? That's how much excuse me. That's how much people are upcharging on all that shit now. Because it's like, well, we got to make a killing off of it, and it's like,
You'll
yeah,
have
bro, but
and energy on Crystal. Hey, Permanent man,
yeah, but that'll kill
Pervitin?
you.
Is that what you said?
huh?
Pervitin?
Yeah,
Yeah, but that will
it
kill.
did wonders for Hitler.
That was the that was the methamphetamine used by German military and civilians during
Yeah,
World War
No, it
II.
was an energy drink.
It
It
was a
was basically
central. Okay, you right. You right.
it was old school Red Bull.
Hey
Very
guys,
old
in
school.
case you didn't know, I just wanted to let you guys know we are on Kick now. Check us out,
Yes.
and we have we also have our podcasts on Spotify, on Apple,
iHeart.
on iHeart, and on Amazon. And we
So
are
look
also
up on all them,
sponsored by.
all of them.
Dun, dun, dun,
American
dun.
Asshole, Cock Firearms,
Yep. Cock
By the-
Firearms, use 2AB, get 10% off free shipping.
and Goliath
Go.
Defense.
2AB, 10% off.
Get
Yeah.
that
I
money
just-
off, guys.
Site-wide.
I just ordered 2 sights from Kyle from Cock
Mm.
Firearms.
Ooh.
He called me today, and he
Mhm.
said they should be at my house on Wednesday.
And everyone
Dude, that's
remember,
awesome,
if it's
man.
not on there, he
So
can get his
exciting.
hands on it.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that is so exciting, man. Guys, check them out. They got really good stuff on there. Good holsters, equipment. Check this out, man. Goliath
TVT
Defense.
on there.
Use, huh?
I'm playing.
use promo code 2AB and get 10% off site wide on this website and this website, Cox Firearms. Also, check them out. And that's
Kyle
Kyle.
could find you anything that you want.
Right.
If he doesn't
The
have it on
Awesome
the site,
Site.
he'll find it and ship it to your ass.
Ship it right to your ass.
Yeah.
All up
All
in
up
your
in
ass.
the ass.
Here we go. And this is the one.
The Barrett 50
Look.
cal.
Barrett Firearms. If it decides to load.
It's because you got
There we
that
go.
Texas internet.
Could you
There you
imagine?
go.
Could you
Barrett
imagine
Firearms.
fingering that?
M107A1.
Taking your
Appar-
finger down the muzzle device.
There's 23 people looking at it right now.
Mhm.
I have one sitting in my cart right now, just waiting for the money to hit the account.
Waiting for my tax return.
Yeah.
So they said people that shoot the Barrett 50 cal, they're getting CTE or CET, whatever the fuck it is, from like concussions going off on the side of your head.
That's only the pussies.
They also get big dick syndrome.
Well, you know there was
Rob.
What? Go
Rob,
ahead.
remember that one time we went to the Westminster outdoor range and it was that little ass Asian dude? He was like 5'2", and he was shooting that big ass gun that was like 6'3". Dude, he was walking out with this thing. It was like 3 feet above his head, just like, yeah, that thing was loud though.
You know he was packing.
Dude,
Are you saying he was
38.
compensating for something?
No, I'm saying he didn't have to compensate. He was just naturally packing in the pants.
Mm.
He needed a gun to match his.
The sexual prowess. It's like,
Yeah.
Remember the Arabs testing the giant, was it elephant gun?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
fucking it up.
Yeah, man, it was so funny. But there was a gun we were looking at. I forget what it's called. It looks identical to a Barrett. And it, but it was like a larger caliber. You guys know what I'm talking about? We watched it before. It looks exactly like a Barrett.
Well, remember Kenny from Be More Calculated was telling us about the water buffalo gun.
Mm.
Yeah, that was the
Oh,
boom
yeah.
box.
Yeah, the water buffalo.
Yeah.
Big gun recoil.
Yeah,
But that's like on a little ass AR platform. It's not
Yeah.
the Barrett 50
I know.
cal. It's like,
but we're talking about big rounds, and that's decently
Yeah.
sized round.
Do
on
you
an
think
AR
size
platform.
matters, Austin?
I'll tell you what matters.
well-
Remember?
My heart wants me to say yes, but my penis wants me to say no.
Oh. So what you're saying is you would walk around with a 50 cal?
I will walk around with whatever's bigger than a 50 cal. I'll walk around with an RPG. You know.
Hey, what is Rumble? Did you put that Rumble outro redo? Just curious.
the what?
Rumble outro redo. It was like an uploaded video clip.
I don't put it on there.
I
Okay.
did.
What is it?
Rob, we know you ain't do that shit.
I know. I'm just
Yeah. You don't even know how to fucking do that.
No, it's like a 50. It's almost a whole minute long. I think it's like an outro redone. I don't know. Anyway,
Josh was on that sippy.
yeah, right? I'm back on the sippy.
Back on the sippy. Forgetting shit already.
Take a sip.
Well, it's just that I don't name stuff the way it's named. I don't save stuff like that. So I don't know. I've had no sippy since May last year.
That's great.
Yeah, man.
Me neither, man.
That's
When
great.
Dude,
Dude,
when
we're
are we
killing
doing
it.
another fast, guys?
So the 2A Brotherhood fast, all right, is going to happen the first Monday
Mm-hmm.
of April.
Okay.
And this time
Rob's doing
We're
it
gonna-
too.
I don't know if you want to, Rob. We're
No,
gonna
he will do
do
it.
24 hours, nothing but salt and water.
Okay.
Day 2, you get to have 6 ounces of bone broth, and then day 3, no, I'm sorry, 8 ounces on day 2, and then day 3 you can have 16 ounces of bone broth, and obviously salt and water and all that good. I mean, that's it.
Can I just eat the bone
No,
You got that dog in you?
or
Hey,
suck
what's
on the bone? Can I suck on the bone?
I'll give you a bone you can suck on.
All right.
hey, what's a good
Remember,
brand of
size
bone?
matters,
Oh,
man.
I think we should do 5 days next time.
You
no.
know what? Let me know.
She said no.
Go suck a dick.
I already have. All right.
The
Demetri, shut that
4-day
shit down
fast was
quick.
brutal. Fuck that.
That was so hard, dude.
Fuck
I think I
that.
could do 5 days. You know, my big fat
Well,
ass.
okay, I'll stop
Dude.
at 2. You go 2. I
Dude,
was
yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just hungry on day 4. It was just fucking ridiculous.
It's bad, dude.
It was like worse than day 2.
Yeah, dude, for real. That's how it was for me. I just felt like I had a headache all of day 3. I felt like I was hungover.
So day
That's because
3, I
you
felt
didn't
great.
have enough salt.
Yeah,
Day
man.
3, I felt great.
sucked.
Day 4, the only reason it sucked for me was because I was at Costco.
I was table salt. That's why. All right, go ahead.
Day 4 only sucked for me because I was at Costco and all I was thinking about was what food I was going to have. And I was watching all these like cooking shows, which, funny enough, was actually helping a little bit
It does.
until the end of it. Then it really was like getting shitty. But no, I was fine. Like day 2 wasn't super bad. It did suck a little bit, but it wasn't super bad. Day 3, I felt pretty good. Day
Yeah,
4, I did start getting a little dizzy. I don't
because
know
you
if
didn't have enough salt.
yeah, I think I was low on salt that day.
You guys are
Um,
pussyfooting that salt. I told y'all that shit's important. Fucking
well,
salt that bitch up. You ain't getting it from nowhere else.
well, I did it before I left for Costco, and then I was just walking around a lot. Got home, unloaded the groceries, and just forgot about it for the rest of the day because I was more focused on the food that I was going to be eating. But I honestly, I didn't feel super bad. Like I really think if I wasn't focused so hard on day 4 of the food, I could have gone another day.
Yeah, after day 3, it gets like easy. I just don't want to do more than 3 days. You could do more than 3 days, but
Well, we did
I'm not
4
doing that
last
shit.
time,
Yeah, I know.
so you don't want to do 4 again.
No, you
What
guys
about
could
you?
do 4.
4 days.
What about you?
Yeah. So for me, that 4 days, that was like after not having fasted in like years.
Hmm.
So like even that was difficult. So I think next time we, like Dimitri said, we just do 2 days.
No, 3
Like
days.
there were, or yeah, 3 days. So there were people. There was people in this woman at my church. She was talking about how they did the 21-day Daniel fast, except like
Damn,
throughout the throughout those 3 weeks, they put like uh 24-hour liquid only fast, like here and there throughout the 3 weeks.
Hmm.
And
Mm.
then at one point they did 2 days liquid only. So they just like split it up between the fast, which is kind of a nice idea. But it's yeah, man. I felt like it was I felt really good, man, on the Daniel fast. It was
Yeah.
really good. I might just go back to it for I've kept some elements, but I think going back to it full like completely is gonna like do wonders. You know what I mean? Like I'll drop a little bit more weight and
Well,
yeah.
that's how
Go
I
ahead.
feel about the carnivore diet. Like I
Yeah.
feel amazing. I was telling Dimitri before we started. I did cheat a little bit. I had a rough day one day. Didn't have anything to eat. It was kind of just like that was my only option without not eating. Um, and so I did cheat a little bit one day. but quickly went back to it and got back on track. Um, it's been a little bit hard, especially going to see like, family members and stuff, and trying to get stuff prepared for me while they're having like lasagna or chili or whatever, pizza. I'm making, chicken thighs, or a basic hamburger. So it's been difficult in that sense, but honestly, I've been loving it. I feel amazing. Um, my back, I don't know if it's just a placebo effect, but my back pain and my knee pain have been going away. I don't
That's
wake
good.
up in as much pain as I did. That might also just be the fact that I'm 15 pounds down. Um,
That'll help too.
yeah, but I feel like I have so much more energy throughout the day. Um, I don't have to drag myself up to go and do things. I just want to get up and do it now.
Mhm.
So honestly, this carnivore diet is kind of changing my life.
That's cool.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I
I've
mean,
heard
so you're not getting the spikes of your insulin and then the drops. So every time you have a carb, it does that. Even when
Yeah.
you eat meat, you still get a little bit of an insulin spike, but it's nowhere near like when you
Yeah.
have like a processed sugar or something like that. So that's why like we have to drag our asses out of bed. I
Yeah.
like me personally, I like when I eat fat, more protein, and a little bit of carbs.
Mhm.
That's the thing that I've noticed that works the best for me.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just a little bit of carbs, just so I get enough enough glycogen in my muscles, but I don't get like a huge, you know what I mean, like a huge spike.
yeah. Well, I feel like also the fact that I haven't consumed any processed like BS, like, and none of that red dye 40, or was it yellow dye 2 or 6 or 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I haven't consumed any of that stuff. The only thing that I've been doing besides water is these Celsius drinks and everything, and those are all naturally, flavored, no carbs, no nothing, no sugar. So it's no added sugar. I think it's just the sugar from the regular
Bro,
stuff.
if you think those things are naturally flavored, you're
Well, that's what it says on here.
that's a bunch of horseshit. That
Well,
means that it was whatever they're using was naturally grown.
that's what it says on here. So, but either way, it doesn't have corn syrup or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
No artificial colors, nothing. So, and I've been drinking those and they feel good. But yeah, it's just I haven't been consuming the red dye 40s, the yellow dyes, none of that stuff, and I feel like I'm able to think better, and just like you said, like I'm not getting, like you said, insulin spikes to where I'm not dragging throughout the day or getting a
It's
sugar
also
high and then
because you
crashing.
lost weight.
Yeah.
It's also because you lost
No,
weight,
I
bro.
know that's a big part of it too. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, yeah.
Like the lighter you are, the better, man. Especially like for your back and shit.
Yeah.
Eric's what's it called? Eric just said, "There goes the neighborhood." He said, "Oh shit." What's up, Eric?
coming to you live, local,
Coming
late
to you
breaking.
live.
Hello,
Austin,
Kick.
Austin gonna start acting light skinned on us.
Light skin.
Not black. It's got to be
I'm
light
light
skin.
skinned.
Even better.
Yeah.
Yo.
You're above better.
Right.
Don't get me started. Don't
You-
get him
you-
started.
Are you gonna start acting like that?
What? Me?
Middle
Yeah.
Eastern?
I guess you're not wrong.
Yo, speaking of Middle Eastern, right? There is this food truck I did stop at in Alexandria,
Ocasio Cortez.
and this place is Arab food, right? And it is the best
The
food truck I think
Arab.
I've had in a long time. It's like Arabic,
Is it
food or whatever.
Arab or Arab?
It's air. And I do. This was the best food truck I've had in a long time. I'm telling you this. Like it was great.
What'd you
Uh,
get?
it was
Arab food, Arab
so
food.
so it's basically like this meat bowl, right? I got a little bit of cheese on it, and they put some sour cream in there, and it was fire, dude. Um, so they're known for you take like a bag of chips and whatever chips you like, you get it filled with, a bunch of veggies, a bunch of cheese, a bunch of meat, and all this stuff. Obviously, I
Mm.
can't take the chips or get like the veggies or anything, so I just got a meat bowl. But dude, like the way they load this thing down, it was so good, so good,
What's the
and just
name of the place?
Flavor Hive. You should check it out. You would love it.
Where's that at?
It's in Alexandria.
Jive.
Virginia.
Fuck
It's-
that. I'm not driving the fuck down there. You
Dude.
stupid.
I'll,
All you
I'll
gotta
bring
do
you.
is
I'll bring you a bowl next time I'm in Alexandria. All right.
all you gotta do
Okay.
is drive to Towson.
Just
go
no
to-
dairy or gluten, please.
All right.
Get a bowl for
Go to
everybody.
Towson and go to Halal Bros food truck. That's all you'll ever need.
You could actually look them up on YouTube.
The halal people in Baltimore.
They're actually
Field
on
are called
YouTube.
the
Flavor
Southern Belle.
Hive. They're fire as fuck. So yeah, I did get that one day. I don't know if that was cheating or not because I don't know what spices they used, but it was worth it, whatever it was.
Hey man.
I couldn't
You're
even
worth
finish the bowl because I've been
You gotta have a cheat meal to keep your sanity, man.
yeah. Well, I've been really pressing on the fact of when I'm full, I stop eating, right? Because that was before. That's why I got as fat as I did was because before I wanted to finish the food. So if I was full, I just kept eating. Well, I've been really pressing myself on if I'm full, I'll save it for later. I'll eat it, later in the day. I've been doing intermittent fasting, so I only eat in an 8-hour window. But yeah, I couldn't even finish the bowl. It took me like 2 days to finish it.
Nice. Dude, extra white sauce every time.
Yeah,
Gotta get the extra white sauce.
yeah, man.
Well,
No, but
a-
that's one of the things they say on the carnivore diet that like people just like they don't get hungry because they're burning off their fat. So their
Mhm.
body's like, all right, there's no sugar, so let's make these ketones. And then next thing you know, it's like, well, we don't need to eat because he's got a bunch of shit. He's a fat piece of shit already.
Yeah.
So we're good. Don't eat.
Oh,
great.
he said, "Do we need a quick guest?" What do you guys think?
Shoot
Who?
him the link, Eric. That guy, cool hat.
Yeah.
You want to get on, Eric? You're more than welcome, bud.
We
Hey,
love
Rick.
having you on, man. You're more than welcome to come on anytime.
Come
Let's
on
get him
off
on
all
here.
the time, right?
Do you have his email address? Oh, great. Josh is stuck now. Fucking A, man.
Here, wait. I got the. Wait, you got the link, don't you? I still have it. I can send it to him.
That
Let me,
link is not going to work.
It's not.
No. Who just
Why
dropped
won't
out?
it work?
What me?
Sorry. Hey,
Oh,
what's
okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. Share link. I'm pretty sure I still have his
Email?
his email.
Why are you so loud, Josh?
Oh, my bad. It was on my phone microphone.
Oh.
My B.
Let's
Alright,
do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, I also slowed down significantly on tobacco. I tried to quit straight out, and I just got very angry all the time. So I switched over to the 2 milligram on coffees,
That's that
And-
gay shit.
Did you beat
Hey, yo,
your
can-
and yeah, so these have been like a lifesaver because I do 3 of these a day, and it helps me.
Did you ever get me any pouches while you were in Virginia?
So I went to the one place and they only had 2 of the wild berry. I was in there the other day and they actually didn't have any of the wild berry or any of the dragon fruit. So I'm going back again Monday. I had the 2. I had the 2 cans. I'd been meaning to give it to you.
Oh, okay,
Um,
you got me something.
yeah, I
Yeah,
got the 2.
so in Maryland, these are $2 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got the 2 for you, but uh I was trying to get you more, but they, like I said, the last place I went to, they didn't have any of the dragon fruit or any of the wild berry in that milligram. They
What
had
was
the
the
lower
email?
they had the lower milligram ones.
He put it in the chat.
I'm sorry, I couldn't see the chat. Let me see.
Is there a way we can, I don't want his email just in the chat. Is there a way we can delete that?
I mean, he put it in there.
Yep, I got it.
Okay. But yeah, so they had it, it's just the not in the milligram that you wanted.
Oh my god. Hold on a second. What the heck?
Oh, there goes email right there.
Right? How the fuck did that happen?
Someone said he's running around trying to get a W. Get on W, you guys. Oh. Oh, get
Oh,
on
that
with you guys. Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
What is
that's his
W?
wife.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
I didn't know what W meant. I was like, what? But I get it now.
Yeah, I don't know. Stand by. Is this Josh? What's going on?
Well, what?
Oh, there we go. Oh, apparently you could pin stuff. How the heck did that happen?
I don't know. Why?
Okay, it's sent.
Unpin.
Oh my god. What the hell's going on?
Who is pinning?
I have no idea. It keeps pinning
Yeah.
his email address. It's like, hey, everybody, here's his email address. Send him dick pics.
Check this out, guys.
But yeah, so tomorrow, if you want, I could probably stop by and give you the 2 cans that I have.
No, you don't got to drive all the way out here, man. Sunday I'm working, so then I have to stop by my office, so I'll be in the neighborhood. I'll hit you up.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, so dude, the 9 milligrams are hard to find in those. I don't know if you know that or not.
I mean, that here that's it's either 9, 6, or 3, and I'm not going to 6 because that's some bullshit.
They have 6. Like I could find 6 all day.
on
Yeah.
makes 9 milligrams.
No, it's this one.
No,
Oh, I got
These
you.
are delicious.
Mm.
And I've noticed with these, I'm not putting as many in because they last a lot longer. So I don't know if they're like slower release or something like that. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. I do like 3 of these a day. That's all I get. That's all I allow myself.
Apparently, I was doing too much. My wife told me that I think it's like 50 or 60 milligrams of nicotine in a day. It could be lethal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was having like 12 fucking pouches a day.
Really?
That's 96 milligrams. I was like, maybe I need to cut back on these a little bit.
That's only if your tolerance is low. Your shit probably up there anyway.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, they say like it's just like with anything. They like you look at drugs and it's like this amount will kill you. Well, it's like a heroin addict can do double that amount and then they're fine, you know. Like someone like me, I've been dipping since I was 15 years old, you know.
You were a redneck from the get, huh?
Yeah.
A redneck from the get. Josh, did you send him the email? Judge?
No more.
I swear it's probably the same link.
No, I got it.
Okay.
See, it keeps fucking pinning.
I got the invite link right here. Copy invite link. Let me go over here to Google Chrome. See if mail. No.
Let me know if you get it, Eric. I just sent it to you from my email.
And then I'm let's see. All right.
Can you hear me? I too.
Yeah.
I also sent. I sent him. I emailed it to him.
Okay.
Did he not? It's from JNF7.
I don't know. He should have two.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna send one as well.
I'm gonna,
Austin.
yeah. Rob,
Get
go
the
ahead. send one.
trifecta. Rod doesn't know how to do that.
Do what?
It keeps getting pinned, yeah.
What is happening?
I have no idea. I don't know why all of a sudden this is happening.
It says pin
Well, at
on
least we.
timer. It's like a pin on. It's on a timer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so funny. It's like it keeps coming to the top. It's at the top of the chat.
It's like,
All right. I sent it too, so you should have it.
That's great.
Not
But wait a
there's
minute.
Josh.
Oh, wait. Oh, I thought something
Is that
happened.
private chat?
No, he can see it. I mean, he
Yeah, I
could
was gonna
also hear
say.
us. But what were we talking about?
I don't know.
We're-
Before all
I don't
this,
know,
we were on
Pervitin?
health stuff.
It's like I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
You got to be healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotta be healthy.
There's no reason to be fat, even though Fat Guy Cool Hat's coming on here.
So
he can beat the shit out of me in a gunfight.
You know,
So I made a determination. I've been
Let me tell you
watching a lot of like the fat activist videos as motivation to get fucking fit because these people are lazy and fucking whiny little bitches. And all these people are saying like BMI
listen,
is like fat phobic and shit. And I think I found a way around BMI to determine if you're fat.
You look down and you see a big ass gut.
guys.
If you ever said fat
Larry.
is healthy, then you're a fat ass.
What the fuck?
Listen, y'all. This, I don't know. This is a picture of me. Okay. This is
In
what
the nude.
I looked like.
In the buff.
I don't know how many years ago you would, or not. It was like last year, but I forget when it was. This is a poster. This is a poster at church to like. It's like an advertisement for the men's meeting and stuff. And this is the picture they chose. Look, posted. Look, you saw his email was posted like big on the screen.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's a picture. Dude, what the heck?
Check 1, 2, 3. Is this
Look how-
working?
Look how
Yeah, there he is.
Okay, all right. It for some odd reason it won't. My camera's not working. I don't know what's going on.
Refresh.
All right.
It's Rumble. Hey, Josh, can we do this shit through Kick? Because Kick is pretty good on freedom of speech.
Yeah. Like go live from Kick and like don't go live on Rumble?
No, and then like do
There he is.
through Kick and see how good that looks. What's up, man?
Is it working?
Yeah.
Are we live?
Yeah.
All right,
What happened
guys.
to hey, what happened to American Outlaw, or was it American Asshole? Which one?
You mean
What happened?
Citizens Defense?
Yeah, Todd. What happened to Todd?
No, he was on call and he got a
Oh,
call,
shit.
so he couldn't.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we're gonna flip the script a little bit. I got questions for you guys.
Okay.
All right.
Because typically you ask your, whoever's on the podcast. I was sitting there watching your podcast while I'm sitting there laying in bed, and I was like, oh shit, they don't have a guest. I was like, I can do emergency guest requests. Like,
Hey, we appreciate it, brother.
all right. So what's gonna happen is I don't know who's on my top left here, but we're gonna top top left, right, in the middle. But I have formulated over the past couple of years. I've formulated 10 questions for shooters, and we're going to start top left and work our way down. And I'm going to ask each of you the same question, and hopefully, you'll be able to. It'll really be able to help you kind of think about your exposure to firearms. But anyway,
Is this pass fail? Can I use AI to
no.
cheat?
No. This is, I'm just, you guys talk
Nice.
about, hey, we want to develop a podcast. We want to develop like a question and answer kind of. This is just a question and answer kind of deal. Obviously, we can plug
All
in
right,
more
Joe.
because why not? Question one is, what was your first exposure to firearms?
Okay, so who's gonna go?
His set is
I'll
top.
just go. I'll just go.
Yeah, there you go.
And,
I was thinking.
so the first time I ever held a firearm was when I think I was like 5 years old in Albania, and my grandpa gave me a freaking Beretta.
Yeah.
It was chrome. Yeah, that was the first time I ever held a gun. But actually shooting it, me, Rob, and Josh's brother went shooting for the first time. We shot his shotgun, and ever since then, I was like, "This is awesome."
Bro, it's been a minute since somebody said Albania. I've been to Albania. Holy shit! All right, that's it. Go back. All right. Next, what was your first exposure to firearms?
I don't remember how old, but I was really young, and my father told me the rules of firearms and let me hold it and everything. I don't even remember how old, but I was really young. He exposed me to him at a really young age.
Good. That's awesome. That's
All
awesome.
right. So my first experience was back when Obama got into office. My dad got really pissed off at the whole "you can't have guns" thing, so he went out and started getting really big into guns. And
2008, 2009.
yeah, around, I can't remember. I want to say I was probably,
You were like in 8th grade, right?
yeah,
7th
I
grade?
want to say I was probably like, it was probably around 2009. And he started getting really big into it, and so he was getting a bunch of stuff to do like the AR builds and all that and everything. And he had gotten a Ruger 22, and we just went to a gun range and just started plinking off, and worked my way up to a 5.56, and shotguns from there. And that was my first experience with it.
Awesome.
Right on.
So I want to add, my grandfather never taught me about the safety of guns. By the way, he just gave it to me.
Here you go, grandson. Take this gun and just go that way.
It wasn't loaded. It was not loaded, everybody. All right. He made sure he took the magazine out and cleared it, but he did not teach me anything.
Beautiful. My I remember my uncle showing me guns and letting me look at them. The first time I held one, I believe, was when Rob came down, and that was like what year would you say that was? When you got the Bushmaster, right?
Around, I think 2000.
Well, yeah. So they, and then my brothers kind of like made sure I was 100% familiar with like the M4 or M16 style rifle before I went to boot camp, and that was the first time I actually shot a rifle. Was in boot camp, so
nice.
And that's it. Yeah.
Honestly, that was my first time shooting rifle too. Was that marked not as spam? Sorry, I'm just marking your emails as not as spam. Apparently, I went to my spam folder. That's what I was having. But yeah, no, that was my first exposure to rifles too. Was OSUT, so that's cool. All right. So question number 2, it's a quick follow up. Is, what was your initial impression?
It was awesome.
I was like, this is fucking cool.
Right?
I fell in love.
I just remember going that shit. Boom! I was like, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Mine was first one was a old school Savage 22.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So like I said, my first experience was the Ruger 22, and I always remember that first smell of gunpowder.
Mm-hmm.
That first smell of gunpowder is just like it always will be seared in my memories of like that. That's what got me right there.
Cordite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
Cordite.
pretty
Isn't
similar.
that a little volatile cordite?
Yeah.
Hey man, that's nitrite. That's nitrite.
Oh,
Okay, I'm not trying to teach you. Not trying to get. I mean,
We
if
have
we
in chemistry class. Yeah.
like
hey, if we're on the list, I hope our names are touching on the list. All right.
the old school, spaghetti. What's the name? That's in 303 Britishes.
Oh yeah, 303 Brit. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
There it
spaghetti
is.
type
Yep.
propellant.
They're throwing three stacks of cordite into that. All right. Next. So another one. Another question from that is, what are your goals within firearms training and proficiency?
I want to be able to defend my family as best as I can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Defend myself and my loved ones and teach the proper way to handle guns, and they can be fun, but in a safe way.
I want to build my proficiency and just become more reliable with it, and be able to rely on my abilities if ever need be in a situation, whether
Yeah.
defending my family or something breaks out to where I have to be able to lay shit down.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good.
Being well prepared and equipped, and I want them to feel comfortable, when they're around, and like comfortable enough with me having a firearm and be like, okay, this is somebody we can rely on and we can trust them. That if something hits the fan, then we can trust them. So
That's public trust. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. Well said. All you guys well said. Yeah, definitely. My big thing is like I don't ever want anyone touching my wife in a way she doesn't like. I want her to feel completely encompassed in a bubble of safety. That's awesome. That's a great answers, guys. Great answers. So the next question is: do you shoot or do you plan on shooting competition? Why or why not?
Yes, I went on practice score, and for some reason, everything that's coming up near me is some rimfire rifle shit.
Yeah, that's rimfire is huge.
I couldn't find any pistol near me. Like, I'll even go right now. I'll take a look.
Gotta look for your USPSA IDPA, homie. It's all right.
So
that's just how it is.
Yes. And for me, I never actually gave thought to competition before starting this podcast.
Right.
And I think it was actually I thought about it, but I think it was actually you, the first time you were on the podcast, that explained to us about like the being being a competition shooter, being like the top shooters, and I can't remember exactly how you explained it, but basically just if you shoot competition and do it consistently, you're better than most shooters in the world. And that's what I want to do. I want to, or not most shooters in the world, but most like gun owners, I should say.
Yeah, in the United States. Yeah, if you shoot one match, you shoot one match a month, so 12 a year, you are in the top 1% of shooters in the United States. Yeah, that is absolutely true.
And I think you saying that really got into my head of, if I want to be proficient with defending my family and defending the people around me, then this is something I need to do to, expand my abilities.
Outstanding. Yeah. Outstanding. I think so. As far as just kind of like as shooting is concerned, there's three major disciplines. Just kind of based off of my experience, right? You have performance, you have tactical, and you have defensive. And the king of just practical shooting is performance shooting. If you are there's a buddy of mine when I live stream on Instagram or TikTok, a good friend of mine. His name is Brandon Jackson. He's one of the best shooters in IDPA in the world right now. Like top 20 shooters. He's incredible. And if I talked about this with him on my podcast with Standard Issue, I said, hey, if you had a month of training from a tier 1 operator and I had the same CQB tactical training, you would beat me in a gunfight 9 times out of 10, just because he's more proficient as far as like speed and accuracy. And I don't know why the industry is so caught up on the whole, well, that's not tactical, or my favorite gun tuber didn't say that. Like we as the industry, we really need to turn towards performance shooting. Speed and accuracy is what's going to keep you alive in a gunfight. I mean, you guys, you have family, when you have families and stuff like that, with, if someone's going to break into your house, if you can stop that threat before it makes it to your kid's bedroom, your wife's bedroom, whatever else, or God forbid, an active threat decides to grab up one of your kids and be like, hey, I'm going to hold a gun to their head and you're going to give me all your shit, or you're going to give up whatever else, God, the most, just the darkest stuff. And you're able to, this isn't happening. And you're able to be fast and accurate and stop that threat. That's the most important thing, in my experience. So, I mean, obviously I'm very limited, but I'm good friends with some guys that are high level GM that preach this exact message. So it's not just some random dude on the internet that's saying this. Guys like Tim Herron and Micah Shuroff, they're these GMs that are saying this stuff. But all right, your next question is a little more sophisticated for you guys.
Wait, I don't think Rob got to answer.
Oh, Rob, go ahead. My bad, dude.
Yeah, I said eventually. Hopefully, when shit stop happening.
I feel that, man. I feel that. I'm very blessed to be in a position where my wife understands that this is like a huge part of my life. Mm-hmm. I think I have 10 majors already scheduled and paid for, and she understands, like, hey, I'm gonna be gone every weekend in May, every weekend in August and September. Like, like she's already gonna, like, all right, this is happening. But all right, so the next question is a little more kind of geared towards your defensive and tactical guys. Do you do any CQB training? Why or why
not? I haven't, but I would. Yeah. But
I would love to. Yeah,
kicking doors, and as a lot of people say, if someone gets in your house, you should really not go from room to room, unless you have to.
That's good.
The shoot house training. But yeah, I would love to do some more of that stuff. That's like one of the most fun things you do. Like especially when they give you the paintball gun or they give you the chalk rounds or whatever, and they just you can do the drill over and over again. I don't know, that kind of stuff was fun for me. I think it is for most people, even if you're not infantry.
Yeah. So for me, I did a little bit in the military and everything, but for me, I have one of those like little yellow trainer pistols, and I've kind of turned it into a game to where my wife will call break-in and like tell me where the break-in's at or whatever, like random part, and I'll practice like drawing and clearing, and stuff like that, and or set up like little targets and everything, and she'll say like, oh, break in, and I work on going towards like these targets and clearing areas as I do it. I haven't recently, it's been kind of busy the past couple weeks and everything, but that's like just trying to get that practice, and if I never need it, then I never need it, but if I do, then it's nice to have, so just to get a little bit of drawing practice and sight on target and just keeping awareness.
That's all. That's a good drill, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Are we missing somebody? I feel like we're missing somebody. Is that everybody?
No, I think everybody answered.
Oh yeah, we all did.
Perfect.
How about
you? Me? Oh, dude. God forbid someone breaks into my house. I talk about this a lot when I live stream, and I talk about firearms proficiency. I really hope that I don't have to use lethal force against another human being, because human life in and of itself is precious, right? We get to live once, and then when we die, whether it's from natural causes or non-natural causes, we face the judgment. And like my big thing is, especially like with my walk with Christ, is I don't want to be the person to send you before the seat of judgment because you made a bad decision and you decided that you're not going to follow Christ, because then I am responsible for sending you to burn for all eternity, right? That's a big deal. That's a big deal in my opinion. That's something that I'm still kind of like trying to grasp and everything. It's a thing. But for me, like, do I train CQB? Yes. Me and my wife I think it was May, we went to a CQB class together, and it was a CQB 1. Now I'm very versed in close quarters combat from being in the Army, but my mentor Todd Van Langen, the retired Tier 1 guy I talk about from time to time, he says that training trends, tactics, they change every 10 years. The last time I kicked in a door was 2014, so it was roughly 10 years between the last time I did any actual dynamic entry to when I went through CQB training. And the reason I did it is because of my mentor saying, hey, every decade or so, these tactics roll over and they change. They're doing a lot more passive entry, address issues from the door. They're not doing as aggressive entry, like, super strong wall or stuff like that. So things have changed a lot. As far as CQB training goes for me, God forbid I ever have to use lethal force. I sleep in my birthday suit, so you're going to get shot by a fat, naked white dude if you break in my house.
That's the only way to go.
And but I have a firearm by my side of my bed. My wife has one too, and I'm just going to strong wall. And there's maybe 5 or 6 feet from the end of my guest bedroom to the beginning of my hallway. It's very close. So if you intentionally break into my house with nefarious reasons, like, I understand if you're tired, if you're sick, if you're hungry, man, if you're hungry and you come up, ring my doorbell at 2:00 in the morning, and you're like, hey bro, I'm hungry. I'm going to greet you with a gun. I'm going to be like, oh, all right, yeah, come on in. Let me make you some food. Like, I'm not going to tell you to F off. Like, it's not what I'm about. Like, I'm a Midwesterner. Like, I've been broke. I've been there. But, don't, if you come to my door 2 or 3, I'm going to have a firearm, and I'm going to be a little more on alert. But if you're like, hey man, I'm just hungry. I just need some food. I need a place to sleep tonight. It's cold right now, bro. It's like 8 degrees. It's 8 degrees out right now. I'd be like, all right, well, here's the deal. You're going to sleep on my sofa, or you're going to sleep in the guest bedroom. You're not going to cause any problems. Like, I'd be more than willing to, let someone in for a little bit. I'll stay up all night if I have to make sure they get a good night's sleep and that, my wife is safe and everything. That's what I'm about. But I'd rather not use lethal force. I've got insurance for that. I got the concealed carry insurance, but it's just one of those things where, yeah, I think the industry is kind of really taking a very negative turn. Like we don't carry firearms because we're like, oh, you're gonna pardon my French, you're gonna fuck around and you're gonna find out. Like, that's, the industry shouldn't be about that. The industry should be about like learning how to de-escalate and use words. I had a First Amendment auditor last year on the job, and this guy was trying. He was gunning to get me to do something stupid, and I just kind of made the decision ahead. And it was hot outside. I didn't want to be outside. It was hot. It was last June. It was hot. It was 104 degrees out. I'm in body armor. I'm sweating. I was like, man, I don't want to be out here right now. But I made the conscious decision that regardless of how uncomfortable I am, I was not going to do something to make this to infringe on this individual's rights, and that I wasn't going to make his life miserable. And it took about 10 minutes to de-escalate this dude, because he was pissed off. He had gotten arrested and cited for trespassing at the building next door, and he was pissed off. And he was there looking to get on YouTube and go viral. But I made the decision, and I like to think I'm well informed. Chris Kobach is our AG here in Kansas. And I told him, I was like, hey, man, if you feel like your rights have been violated, you need to file a complaint with X person, with Chris Kobach, the AG. And that's one thing I think a lot of cops don't understand. Is like, if you can be your personal, like, it's okay to be wrong. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of rabbit trail a little bit. If you're a law enforcement officer, It is completely okay to be wrong and to tell someone you're wrong. It doesn't show weakness. It just shows that you're willing to admit that you didn't know something, which is completely okay. That's like a big thing in my book is if I get pulled over by a cop, like I got pulled over by a cop one night and he said it was because my wheels were touching the different lines on the road. And I was on my way home from work. It was 1 a.m. This guy was trying to sniff out a DUI stop, and he was a training officer, had a training with him. And I was very polite, and I said, "Hey, is that illegal?" He said, "Well, no." I said, "Okay, so you fraudulently pulled me over, declared an emergency where there was none. For what reason?" And he said, "Well, I suspect you of drinking and driving." And I said, "You suspect me of something you cannot prove."
Mm.
Was he like, "You free to go"?
No. He wanted to make it an issue, and I was like, "Hey," and I was very polite. I was like, "Look, dude, I just got off a 10-hour shift. I'm a little bit tired. My duty gun and my duty belt's in the back seat. I could show you my credentials if you want. I have not been drinking. I don't do that. You pulled me over for a bogus reason." And I was very polite to him because he was a TO. He had a rookie with him, a rookie cop. And I said, "Here's the deal. You have no reason to pull me over, and I understand you're trying to do your job, but you're wrong. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to be wrong. You're trying to do the right thing. But in this instance, you are completely wrong, and you're unlawfully detaining me." And so I think it's important that we know the laws, and two, we know about criminal detainment and what it entails. And the big thing is just being polite, like being overtly polite. Because this guy, like, once I started throwing out these legalese terms, he got very nervous. His trainee got very nervous. They got super nervous when I told them my duty gun was in the back seat. Like, I don't know what it is about cops. As soon as you tell me they got a gun, they freak the fuck out. Which
Yeah.
it's like, bro, I'm not. If my gun's in the back seat, I'm not trying to do you harm. Like, my draw stroke is way fucking faster than most SWAT cops, all SWAT cops. So if I wanted to do you harm, I would do you harm, but I'm not. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to cause harm. But it's one of those things where be overtly if you have to deal with undertrained law enforcement, which is everybody. And I say this like every law enforcement officer out there, local, state, federal, they're all undertrained, they're all underinformed, they suck at their job. And it's a kind of a repercussion over the past, several years through the PSYOP of 2020, Trump, Obama. We've had this huge shortage of high quality individuals that want to do the job, right? So we have undertrained, under-equipped, just generally lackluster, intelligent individuals that do the job. And it's just a job to them, right? But so be overtly polite with these people. Do not argue with them. If they're going to sit there and they're going to violate your rights, that's fine. Go after them in court, but go after them personally. You need to impeach them as, posing as law enforcement officers, whatever you got to do to get them in jail. Go after them personally. Don't go after the state. Go after them personally. But be overtly polite, because the last thing I want to hear about is somebody that's, "Oh, yeah, I was carrying a firearm because it's my right." Yes, it is your right. The Second Amendment says so. The Second Amendment, unpopular opinion, this is probably going to get me in trouble, but the Second Amendment was written so we could protect ourselves from corrupt cops, corrupt local officials, and corrupt federal officials. The Second Amendment was written so we can protect ourselves from these individuals that are going to be tyrannical. It wasn't written to give us the ability to protect ourselves from people that might break in our house. It was written because our founding fathers knew that this shit was going to happen, that local PDs were going to stop people for whatever reason because they felt like it for no unjust reason. And you guys have seen this stuff. You guys have seen stuff on social media where cops are like, "Hey, I'm going to make this a big deal," where someone's like, "Hey, I don't answer questions." And all of a sudden this guy's like, "Oh, shoot, he's observing his Fifth Amendment rights, but now I have to be in charge." Like, no, you don't have to be in charge. If someone says, "I'm not answering questions," great. Do you have probable cause, or do you have articulable suspicion to stop that person? If the answer is no, you'll leave them alone. If not, the Second Amendment applies, because at that point you're posing as an officer of the United States, which there's this whole thing that I'm not going to get into tonight. But if you have to deal with cops, be overtly polite, be respectful. And I'm going to leave it at that.
So to touch
Like
on
how-
Did you see
That
the?
was a long ass rabbit trail.
to touch on what you said about
okay to be wrong.
It's okay to be wrong. Yes, it's so.
Oh.
If you're a cop, it's okay to be wrong.
to touch
If
on
someone
what you
says-
They have
Yeah, go
like
ahead.
fragile egos. Sorry, go ahead.
They
Oh.
do. They do.
to touch on what you said about the whole, duty belt, duty gun in the back seat, right? I don't think there's a criminal out there that wishes harm on a cop that will tell the cop that they have a gun in the back seat.
But I
Mhm.
normally don't. If cops will say, "Hey, do you have any weapons?" Or I just say I don't answer questions.
Yeah.
But I don't, and the reason why is because like 9 times out of 10 they'll freak the fuck out if they know you have a gun on.
Well, that's my point. Is that if I am wishing to do this police officer harm, I'm not going to tell you I have a gun.
Facts.
Yeah.
You're just
But
gonna yank
if-
and crank on them, dude.
Yeah, but if I'm sitting here saying I have my concealed carry on my person right now, that is me basically telling you I don't wish you any harm. I just want you to be aware of the
Bro, dude,
situation,
I don't-
so
I
that
don't
way
even
you don't
tell
get
'em.
spooked.
I don't
But-
even tell them.
Well, there
I don't
are
even
some
tell 'em
states
anymore.
that are mandatory. It's mandatory.
True.
Yes.
I've got
In Maryland, yes.
No, Maryland
guy-
is actually not a mandatory notify state. If they ask you,
It's not.
If they
No, it's
ask
not.
you,
if
No.
they
You gotta
ask
tell
you,
them, right?
you have to tell them. If they say, "Do you have any weapons?"
Yeah.
then you have to tell them.
Legally, yeah, you're obliged.
Now-
just these hands, officer.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
if
exactly, yeah.
now here's the thing, right? If they ask you if you have anything like suspicious or anything funny or anything like, they have to specifically ask you, do you have a gun or do you have a weapon? And then you have to tell them. But if they say something like, "You got anything funny in the car or anything crazy
Funny.
in the car or anything?"
Just you,
Don't
officer.
incriminate
You're the only
yourself.
thing funny here.
then
Exactly.
you don't have to tell them anything. But if they say, "Do you have a weapon or a gun?" then you do have
That's
to tell
not
them.
true. The
But-
Fifth Amendment says you can say,
You're not.
"I do not answer questions." You can observe the
Okay.
right to remain silent,
But
and you can say, "Hey, yeah, I get it," but still legally binding. Federal law, the Constitution says you can say, "Hey, I don't answer questions."
But there are states where you do have to notify.
There are,
if
but
you're pulled
still,
over.
the Fifth Amendment still
Yeah,
applies
yeah.
to that. Now in Kansas,
No.
I just got my
Constitutional.
CCW. So in Kansas now, if I get pulled over, cop's gonna do his little fucking diddly doodly in this computer, and he's gonna see that I have a CCW because that's how it works in Kansas, which is dumb. I don't think it should, but it's gonna say, "Hey, this guy's got a concealed carry permit."
That's a Fifth Amendment
And this
violation.
dude, it is a violation of your Fourth Amendment rights. It absolutely is.
Yeah,
but that's
yeah,
what it does.
Of course.
And he's gonna walk up to me and be like, "Hey, you got any guns in your truck?" And I'm gonna be like, "Hey, look, man, I don't answer questions, so play this how you gotta play." Now in Kansas, you can pull someone out of your vehicle for the duration of a traffic stop. However, I'm going to take this guy to court and I'm going to impeach him for posing as a officer of the United States for whatever reason, right? I'm going to attack him personally. That being said, I'm still going to be polite. I'm still going to be professional because I understand I'm dealing with undertrained, less intelligent individuals that don't understand the aspects of speed and accuracy, right? Now, another person you guys can talk about this is actually a cop a guy I work for. I work for him. His name's Luke, and he's a cop in KCK. And I'm going to holler at him and be like, "Hey, I got this podcast you need to be on next Friday." And he will tell you that the only reason cops win gunfights is because they get in gunfights with people that are unprepared. This is another, for if any of you fucking street cops watch this, killing a cop during a traffic stop is not hard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why they get so.
Killing a cop during a traffic stop is not hard. It is literally one of the easiest things that a criminal can do. Now, I am not a criminal. I do not go out there looking to hurt people. I'm not trying to hurt people. I'm not trying to hurt badges. I get it. You're trying to do your job, whether it's right or wrong. I'm just trying to get home to my wife and make sure that my house, my home is protected, and that I make enough money to pay the bills. Killing a cop during a traffic stop is not hard. It is one of the easiest things you will do, especially with these undertrained individuals we have out there. So,
DEI hires.
Yeah.
DEI, bro, holy! You do not want to get me started on diversity, equity, and integrity or inclusion.
Inclusion. Yeah.
Because I'm dealing with that shit right now at work. My wife is missing out on a fucking 5-day trip because my favorite fucking DEI hire from my job that hates my guts because I've called him that didn't give me my fucking schedule. So I don't have money saved up to take my wife somewhere for her birthday, and I'm going to make this dude's fucking life hell. I am pissed the fuck off. So let's not do that tonight. Let's keep it.
So to backtrack
hold on.
Okay.
Let me just. I've been trying to say this shit.
Oh,
Remember the video of it was on Instagram. I think you posted it. The cop, the lady cop pulled the dude's concealed carry out.
Oh yeah,
Finger on the trigger.
Yeah,
shot him in the leg.
Women in law enforcement, am I right? Like, I'm gonna take your gun off. Blam!
But the crazy part is the dude was complying. There's he was like, yes, I have a, I was like, do you mind if we take it off you for our safety? He was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And then his safety's out the window because this dumb bitch doesn't know how to keep a finger off the trigger.
She had multiple fingers on the trigger. Actually, it wasn't just one. She had I think she was like two.
And wasn't it a Glock too? Like the same as
yeah, she had two. Yeah,
it was like the same exact one as their service pistol.
But
women cops are the most scary thing on the road. They will shoot you. I don't know how many stories I read. It was like taser, blam, blam, blam. And that's a training cop that just whipped out her Glock instead of her taser and fucking murdered someone. Oh, shocker. Now this chick that shot this dude, she will be facing charges of aggravated battery and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
He is set for fucking life, dude. That guy is set
that's
for
not worth
life.
it. That's not worth it. If I get pulled over by a female cop, I'm be like, bro, call a dude. I'm not fucking talking to you. I've got a good friend. I've got a good friend that's a female cop up in Colorado. And I told her today, I was like, hey, law enforcement is not for everybody.
No.
And that's the nicest way I can say it about her. I love her to death. But if you are a female, you do not belong in law enforcement. You don't belong in the military. There is a reason women will never ever win worlds or nationals overall. You won't even come top 5. There is a reason for it. It's the way God made you, and you can defy it. You can be pissed off. You can be angry as much as you want. My wife understands that the reason I want her to learn how to shoot is because some big dude breaks into her house and I'm not here. That's the equalizer. I can deadlift 405 pounds without a warm up. There is not a single woman on this earth I can't pick up, slam on her head, and break her neck, and not do whatever else. And I understand there's other men out there that actually care, that actually wanted to harm 2 people that are not like me, that don't have morals, that don't understand that, that Christ is my savior. And the reason I'm on earth is to protect the people that can't protect themselves. Right.
Yeah.
There are guys out there that are bigger and stronger than my wife that will pick her up and slam her down on her head, break her neck, and then do whatever they want to her. Okay. But that's why Samuel Colt said, hey, God created all people even, and I made sure to say that way. Okay. She understands the reason she carries a firearm is for when I'm out there. She understands that she carries a firearm because if I get killed or I get maimed in the process, that she can do her due diligence and she can protect me and protect herself. Right. Yeah. That is the most important part. I don't understand what it is about this whole big thing about modern feminism. But if you take a woman and put her in a force-on-force situation, if you take the average woman in the United States and you put her in a force-on-force situation against the average man, she will lose 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's women can be fucking vicious when it comes to defending their children, and I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for Mama Bear defending their kids. But the problem is that women are 90% weaker than the average man. The average woman is 90% weaker than the average man. That's why firearms are a huge thing. Why it is so important for women to be proficient with firearms and proficient with being able to protect themselves, have good situational awareness. The biggest thing you can do as a woman, here in the United States, so men are so deprived of positive attention from women. The one thing a woman can do, the biggest thing a woman can do, in my opinion, to keep creepy men away is not be nice to guys. Just don't be nice to them. If you're out in public and some guy comes up, tries to talk to you, just be an asshole. Just be rude to him. I guarantee 9 out of 10 times he'll fuck off. Even if it's a creepy guy, he'll leave you alone. Just be a dick to him. Because if you're nice to a guy, especially a creepy guy that has been emotionally, physically deprived verbally deprived his entire life. The as soon as you're polite, he's going to try to take that as a green flag to proceed and be creepy and to try to victimize you. Be an asshole. If you're a lady out there, and you don't want a guy to approach you, be an asshole.
Yeah.
And he might go out and bitch about it to his buddies later at the bar or whatever else. Better you be an asshole to him than he try to victimize you.
Yeah. So real quick, going back a little bit about what you were saying, I'm trying to pull it up so I get the exact verbiage. You were talking about Second Amendment being to protect us from, federal government, all that stuff, right?
Tyranny.
Yep.
So not a lot of people know this in the Constitution. So people have heard we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Everyone knows that, right? Well, not a lot of people know this part that comes after it, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the government, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form. So it's literally in our Constitution that we have the right. We have the right as Americans to abolish our government and start a new government.
That's very true.
It's not a lot of people realize that the government doesn't let you know this because they don't go teaching it. It's literally our constitutional right to abolish our government and start it fresh.
So here's the other thing too is Title 42 subsection 2.31 says that you have to consent to being detained for arrest. It's a whole long drawn out thing, but Title 42 literally says you have to consent to being detained. So if a cop's like, hey, I'm detaining you for whatever, he's gonna be like, hey, Title 42, I don't consent. But here's the problem though, is like modern law enforcement is so protected by the various infringements on our rights that they think they're invincible. They're not. And it sucks that it'll come to a head where modern law enforcement is going to understand that a well-regulated militia be necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. A free state includes being free of any sort of tyranny, including local law enforcement, local and federal. And people don't want to look at that and embrace that. But that is the harsh reality of the world we live in. 1954 is the last documented case I can find of a local sheriff being executed by local individuals because he was trying to evict a widow from her house. And these neighbors said, no, you're not going to evict this widow. And their sheriff says, I'm going to impede on this woman's rights. And the locals said no. And they killed him. And it's an unfortunate reality of the world we live in, but that is why the Second Amendment exists, so we can protect ourselves from corrupt law enforcement, corrupt government officials. Cops shouldn't even pull you over for any reason. That's an infringement on your right to travel. But that's a whole nother.
I mean, look at Ruby Ridge.
Oh yeah, Ruby Ridge, Waco. Look at the showdown in the ranch in Montana back in 2000.
Ruby Ridge is considered a success.
Yeah, they broke into this dude's property, shot his kid, and when this dude started shooting back at them, they killed his wife while she was holding her baby. And it's like, you guys are in the wrong here. You guys fucked up. You were trying to spy on this dude. You got caught by a child and a dog. And then
the son killed one of them.
The son killed one of them, and then they started shooting back. Well, I'm sorry, but my kid, if I live out in the mountains of nowhere, if my kid sees someone on the property lurking and ghillie suits and shit, I'm sure he's going to shoot him too. You know, like you guys are in the wrong, and yet they were so protected.
Bundy, look at the Bundy standoff in 2014. With the Bundy Ranch, doesn't kind of just show the overzealous steps that the federal government will take because they think they're right, even though they're wrong. I don't know what else. That's the most modern example. You have Ruby Ridge, you got Waco, the Bundy Ranch. There's all sorts of other indications. The whole situation with Waco, they'll be like, oh, well, it was a religious cult. Well, I can tell you right now, if the men that actually had a spine didn't decide that they were going to allow this individual to run a cult, they wouldn't allow it to happen. If Ruby Ridge, if the funny part about Ruby Ridge too was that the FBI coerced this guy, an FBI informant coerced this guy into cutting off a shotgun a little too short.
Mhm.
And then they ended up murdering his wife and his kid. Like, that's not the right answer. And again, they consider those a success. The Bundy standoff in 2014, they consider that a success too. But that's just a gross infringement of our rights as Americans. And I think the American populace has become so pussified that we forget that it is completely okay to protect ourselves in and up to lethal force. In Pennsylvania, you can shoot cops in the act of self-defense.
Yeah.
You can kill cops in the act of self-defense.
I think the one thing is like Waco, that dude was on some like pedo shit, you know?
Oh, he absolutely was. But here's the deal.
But how they went about like taking it down.
If the dads, if the dads were involved, and I've talked about this, like, how do you stop gun violence in the United States? Dads be involved with their families. If the fathers that actually gave a shit about what was going on in Waco actually decided to do something about it, they would have done something about it, and that pedo shit would have never happened. Waco would have never happened if dads decided to be dads. Ruby Ridge would have never happened if those dads had instilled a good sense of morals and values into those FBI agents and those ATF agents that decided to entrap, the guy at Ruby Ridge. Bundy Ranch would have never happened if dads had done the same thing.
Well, here's the thing, right? So you're saying if dads had instilled good moral values at like the FBI agents at Ruby Ridge, well, in their standards, I guarantee you those dads did install good moral values because they taught them to do the right thing by the government, but it's a twisted version of it because they're so focused on doing what daddy government says that they thought they were in the right. That's why they took it as a win, because they're doing what they think is the best for the country and protecting against gun violence, because this guy might have had a couple extra guns. You get what I'm saying?
That's a good point. No, that's a very good point. Like, I'm a victim of psychological programming and psychological grooming from the United States Army. I understand why that is the way it is, but at the same time, that's wrong. And here's the thing too: it's like, if you want to think for yourself and not be a robot, you will. I got in a lot of trouble in the Army because I thought for myself and I wasn't a robot. And the funny part is every time we'd have these briefs, when I was in the Lurch Ranger Company, they'd be like, "Don't be a robot. Think outside the box." And then when I did that, they'd yell at me for doing that. It's like, bro, you literally said not to be a robot. Like, you figure it the fuck out. Like, I'm either right or you're wrong. And that's just how it is. And that's, like you said, that's how it is with modern law enforcement. Is there is no like actual moral high ground. It is, I'm going to enforce unconstitutional things to infringe on your rights because Big Daddy XYZ said so. Now, that being said, I'm hoping to see a change with Kesh Patel as director of the FBI, but Lord knows if that'll actually happen. That's big politics, and we know how corrupt big politics in general can be. But that is why the Second Amendment exists. Like, you guys talk about how you want to train to protect your families, bro. I'm training to protect my house from a fucking SWAT team. Like, at some point, that might be the harsh reality of the world we live in at some point in the next 3-4 years. But that might be it. Like, I'm trying to stop a SWAT team from coming in my house and murdering and raping my wife.
Yeah.
Like, and it might not be a local SWAT team. It might be a UN strike team or a NATO strike team or something, somebody from some different distant country that wants to come in and just, oh, well, you know what? We're gonna poop on some Americans today. Well, unfortunately, 5.56 and 9mm said otherwise. And it's one of those things where unless the American populace is willing to really embrace this kind of just purist, absolutist attitude when it comes to the Second Amendment, we'll never grow.
Yeah.
We'll never grow as a country. We'll never learn. We'll never progress. And that's how it is. But that's why you guys have a podcast talking about this kind of stuff, because it allows people to, sit there. And I guarantee I've already had March of 2023. I talked to the FBI for whatever fucking reason. And they were like, hey, come to this meeting unarmed. And I was like, you can get fucked. It's not happening.
Unarmed.
I still went and met them. It was some fucking 3 of 10 FBI agents, some big motherfucker. And I was just like, God forbid you do something stupid right now. It was one of those things where they were trying to recruit me to inform for them. And I was like, that's not happening.
So be a snitch.
Yeah, they wanted me. They were trying to recruit me to, and they were like, "Oh, don't talk about this." I was like, "That's not how this works, guy. The First Amendment exists for a reason."
Did you guys get that?
Now that being said, the reason why they
You
wanted
guys
to
get
talk
that?
to me, the reason they wanted to talk to me is because some quack that followed me on TikTok was talking about how he's going to go down the border and he was going to murder illegal immigrants and border patrol agents. I'm not a proponent of that. If you want to come to America for the right reasons. This is a landing opportunity for a reason. I know a lot of Hispanic dudes that live in my local area that work very hard, that came here the right way, that are making a living now. I get it. I understand that you're trying to get away from an oppressive regime to try to have some ability to do X, Y, Z, whatever else. I've never been a proponent of violence. They just didn't like the fact that I made fun of them and suggested that they were the reason that active shooters happened. That was a big thing. They didn't like the fact that I made fun of that. I was like, oh, when a mentally disturbed teenager you gave Daniel defense rifles to and 5,000 rounds of ammo doesn't commit the mass shooting. Like they didn't like that. And I had I had a fake FBI badge. But I'd always say, this is satire. I'm not a federal agent. This is just strictly for humor. They didn't like the fact that I understood the legality behind that, saying, hey, I'm not a federal agent. This is satire. They didn't like that. They didn't like the fact I was making fun of them, making them look bad. And during the meeting, they're like, we don't like this. And I said, well, maybe you shouldn't groom psychologically vulnerable teenagers to commit vast, massive acts of violence. They didn't like that either. But it's the feds, man. If anybody trusts the federal government at this point, I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
Yeah.
Anyway, and rant.
Yeah.
All right.
So
how much time you guys got left? I got a few more questions.
We got time, man.
I wanted to ask one question first
Go ahead.
before we move on. So you know how like officers have their laptops are like fitted with that AI stuff that automatically analyzes license plates, and for like
Yes.
bolos and stuff. Do you think that is a Fourth Amendment violation? Randomly running
Absolutely.
tags.
Absolutely. Running, if you don't have a warrant for it, you shouldn't be able to run it. But the whole Patriot Act kind of like, yeah. There are 30,000 gun laws or regulations in the United States related to firearms, and they're all infringements on the Second Amendment. I know a guy, somebody I met on TikTok, I was live streaming, and he's like, bro, you're the first person that's actually talked about like from absolutionist standpoint. I'm like, RPGs at Walmart. And they're like, but what if your neighbors have RPGs? I'm like, well, then I'm not going to be a dick to my neighbors because they have RPGs.
Yeah.
Like,
A armed society creates a polite society.
bro, if my neighbors all had
Good quote.
RPGs, I guarantee the pedo that lives down the street wouldn't exist. Because we would collectively come together and be like, hey, let's get some target practice going and just nuke his house with RPGs.
Make
Wasn't there a
pedophiles
law?
afraid again.
Make what? Oh, pedophiles afraid of him. Wasn't
Make
there a
pedos-
law that was I forget, maybe New York or something, that essentially created a public database of firearm owners and their addresses?
Yes, it was New York, California, and Washington State. They all
And-
did that, and they did that because they were like, oh, we need to know who's. They wanted to file it under some red flag law bullshit, but it's one of those things where here's the deal. The reason why red flag, man, I cannot English. The reason why red flag laws, we'll get into this real quick. The reason why red flag laws are so damning to the American populace is because, let's say that I decide that Joe Schmo down the street is let's say I'm a new neighbor. I move in, Joe Schmo down the street welcomes me to the neighborhood. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. Here's my wife and kids. He's got a wife and kids. Our kids get along. They have play dates, whatever else. I friend him on Facebook, and I happen to be anti-gun, right? And I friend him on Facebook, and he's got a profile picture of him and his son at a successful hunt with a rifle in the picture. I call local cops, say, hey, this guy's a problem. I think he's going to commit acts of massive violence for whatever else. A SWAT team kicks in his door without a warrant. They murder him, his wife, his kids. And now I'm inadvertently responsible for the death of my new neighbors because I'm a overzealous, undereducated, just general idiot when it comes to firearms.
Mhm.
And that's how red flag laws can negatively affect the U.S. populace. And that's what's happening. New York, California, just all these communist states. And it's infuriating because we as the American populace have let this happen.
Mhm.
If we as the American populace did not want any of our rights to be violated, they would not have been violated. But we are so comfortable in whatever society we've built here. Excuse me, that we're willing to let our rights be pushed aside for comfort. And I'm not
Mhm.
okay with that. So
So with red flag laws, I do agree with you about how the way they're set up, it's a terrible setup, right? But I think that if they were managed properly, they could be a good deal because you could have someone who is let's take you for instance, right? You're a very
Mhm.
normal person. I think that I could trust you around firearms.
Normal.
I could trust you around firearms. I don't think you're going to go and commit massive acts of violence, right? But let's say one day your wife leaves you, right? And you find out that and this is just you find out she's cheating you with your best
Hey, if you
friend.
leave me, I'm committing genocide.
I'm just saying this is like she's cheating on you with your best friend. You get all torn up about it, right? And you now become unstable, right?
Right.
And just something happens to where it breaks you loose, and now you're starting to post about a bunch of shit. You're starting to go really far off the deep end, and I see it as a friend. I think that red flag laws could be useful in a sense to where I report it and then the police do an investigation as to taking the evidence that I have because I have to produce evidence, not just say, hey, this guy is crazy and a lunatic. I have to
Right.
produce evidence as to why. And then they don't break down your door. They don't sit there and kick down your door in a SWAT team. They bring you in, talk to you, maybe take you to get a evaluation by a non-biased, therapist who is not against guns. And this is how I feel like it should be managed. But I don't think that they're bad. I don't think that it's bad to have red flag laws. I think it's bad how they're managed right now. Because there are people that can snap. The human mind is
Absolutely.
not very stable,
Well, guess
and
you know how you deal with people that snap and decide to go commit massive acts of violence with
mhm,
firearms? You shoot them in the face.
yeah.
I'm a proponent of direct action. So I would disagree with the whole, they're going to investigate you. There is the whole concept of the United States Constitution is innocent until proven guilty. If someone
Mhm,
is going to sit there and be like, hey, this individual is going to do something and you're investigating me on suspicion of XYZ, dude, here's the thing. I've been through therapy. I can say whatever I want that is as extremist as I want, and people can
mhm,
investigate me, but I'm psychologically stable. Like,
yeah.
I'm not going to go out and do random acts of violence. Now, if my wife leaves me for my best friend, I'm going to talk to him about this because he's dating like one of the most attractive women I've ever met that makes way more money than I do. And two, I'm going to ask my wife why she's trying to upgrade. Like, we've been married 5.5 years. Like, she should have figured this shit out 5.5 years ago.
Mhm,
You know, that being said, it's like I get where you're coming from, but red flag laws can be super duper damning because, like, let's say you're like, hey, I'm afraid this guy's gonna do something dumb. He has all these guns, and if the cops try to investigate, they're like, hey, we're gonna take you in and we're gonna talk to you, and I'm like, you could get fucked. I'm not talking to you. And then I decide to be an absolutionist and observe my Second Amendment, and I kill the 2 cops or 3 cops that decide to come to my front door, which is my right at that point because I haven't committed a crime, and now they're trespassing, and they're trying to coerce me, and they're threatening me with unlawful detainment, criminal trespass, criminal detainment. Then that creates a whole nother problem. That's why red flag laws are so incredibly dangerous. And here's the deal, right? If you have a friend or family member, like if I have 3 brothers, if one of them was really going to do something very stupid with firearms, I'm going to go take their shit, and they're
Yeah.
not going to stop me from taking their shit. I'm going to roll right
Mhm.
into their house and be like, hey, I'm taking all your guns, and you're not telling me no. And
Yeah.
I'm going to say, you're going to go get fucking help. And that's the exact same shit that my best friend would do for me. Now, he's a SWAT cop here with the local county. So if I've had a situation once in the past, I have 2 really good friends that have kept me accountable for all my PTSD and everything else. I was in church one day, and I was having a bad day mentally for whatever reason. I walked out of the sermon and I called my buddy, and I was like, hey, Siege, I'm having a bad fucking day. I don't know what's going on. My mind's not doing things it should be doing. And his first question, he had 2 questions for me. His first was like, all right, talk me through this. Do you need me to come get your guns? And that's the level of accountability that I'm at. And I think
Mhm.
with like continued education, continued training, which I talk about, like you'll develop these kind of relationships where you'll have people like that in your life where you're like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm having a bad fucking day. Like if my wife was really super duper concerned about my mental health, she could make one phone call and there would be 5 dudes that are bigger and stronger than me that would come take all my shit.
Yeah.
They would walk in here and be like, hey, you're not stopping us. We're taking this for your safety. And they would do it. And there's no legal repercussions. There's nothing I could do to stop them other than fighting them. And they'd beat the fuck out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how our society should be. We should have that level of accountability,
Yeah.
that level of just development as far as like relationships go. Because if one of my buddies, I've got like 4 really, really good friends here locally. If one of them called me and was like, hey, I'm having a bad fucking day, I'd be like, okay, talk me through this. Do you need me to come take your guns?
Yeah.
Like, and that's it. That's the level of accountability that we should have. And that only
We
is
should.
developed. That's only developed through interpersonal relationships and like level of professionalism. You're not going to get that through red flag laws. Red flag laws are going to have SWAT guys kicking in your front doors, murdering your wife, your kids, murdering you over some pretense because one of your friends was afraid that you might do something dumb. Like what if I'm going through a bad breakup and my ex-wife is super jealous because I have some super hot new piece of ass that I've met at a whatever function, and my ex-wife or estranged wife is like, oh my gosh, she's way more attractive than me, and I know he's got guns, and so I'm gonna spin a tail. Like that's the problem with red flag laws is there's way too much stuff
Yeah,
that
I
is
agree.
open to interpretation that can harm innocent individuals.
I agree. And that's why I'm saying I feel like it's just mismanaged right now. Because when you say all this, right, I agree. That's how it should be. Rob, I know right now if I was to call Rob and say, hey, man, I'm having a bad day. I need you to come get my guns, right? Because I know for my level right now, like of who I am, I'm confident enough that if I'm having a bad time to where I'm either going to cause harm to myself or someone else, unless that person that I'm going to cause harm to hurt my kid or my wife, then I'm going to call them up and be like, hey, come get my guns. I need you to come help me. And I know that Rob would come in minutes and be here and grab them, and
Yeah.
I feel like you probably would do the same thing with me or maybe Dimitri or something. If you're having one of those days. But the issue is that not everyone does that, and not everyone has people that notice that. Look at, like,
bringing up school shooters and everything, right? Or mass people that do the mass shooting attempts and all that. And there have been multiple times to where they have put clear messages out that have stated that this was their intention, and no one fucking said anything, you know? And if there was something to where because right now red flag laws only hurt people. So that's why I agree with you. I agree that they are not good. But I feel like there is a way that we can make it to where it is helpful for the people that don't have that sense of community, to where people that are posting crazy ass shit on Facebook are being, are being managed to where they don't have the mental capability to say, hey, I should probably give my guns to someone because I'm not in the right state of mind right now. There are people out there like that. And we need something for those people who don't have those guys in their life that are going to show up 4 fucking deep and beat the shit out of you if you try to stop them from taking your guns. Because, like I said, going back,
that's how
I know Rob and Dimitri would show up to my house and fucking hold me down and grab my shit if they think I'm gonna do something crazy with it, because I know I can count on them. But not everyone has that. Not everyone.
everyone would, if our society went back to social hierarchy and started implementing. So up until the 1970s, I think we had shooting ranges at schools. So
Mhm.
we didn't make firearms a novelty object. They
Yeah,
were very common. They're involved in
you
everyday
show up
life.
with it in your truck.
Yeah. You take. There's a picture, I think, from 1974. Don't quote me, but I think it was from that. But a student, a disgruntled student, called in the school and said, "Hey, I'm going to shoot the place up." And there's a picture of a student and a teacher sitting outside the school with shotguns. And guess what didn't happen that day?
Mhm.
That disgruntled student didn't shoot up the school. So I think we've kind of made firearms a novelty thing, and obviously it's a whole. If you really want to get in this whole big conspiracy of firearms becoming a novelty thing to alienate them, to make people afraid of them, et cetera, so we don't want to buy them. Yeah, that's absolutely a thing that's probably happened through psychological operations, psychosis, whatever else you want to put out there. But if we take away the novelty of firearms, we encourage fathers to be fathers, to stay at home. We get rid of this high divorce rate.
That's
I
the
mean,
key.
fathers being in homes decrease a child's likelihood of committing a violent crime by 98%. Like literally,
Yeah.
just
That's the
if
key.
I have a kid, I don't even have to be like in his life necessarily as much as I have to be there in the home and be a masculine male role model, and that decreases his chances of committing a violent crime by 98%. That's a good fucking margin, but yet we
Yeah.
as Americans, we don't encourage that anymore.
No, we encourage single
that is
motherhood and
Yes,
fucking being a internet thought and fucking OnlyFans and all this shit.
absolutely. Dude, I'm a
Internet
recovering
porn.
porn addict. You preach this all day to me. I agree.
Yeah.
It's that is if you want to boil down how to stop gun violence in the United States, put fathers back in homes.
Yeah.
Incentivize fathers to be in homes, incentivize women to not be promiscuous.
I
And
was talking with someone
it's one
about
and the
that.
same. It's one and the same, brother.
I was talking with someone about that. I think that instead of, because right now there's a lot of incentives for single mothers, right?
Oh,
And I
absolutely.
think that widows, yeah, should be taken care of. We should huddle around widows, and especially widows of like fallen veterans, right? But sit there and huddle
Absolutely.
huddle around them and make sure they're protected. But if you're just a single thought mother, that made bad decisions, then no, you don't deserve extra. The people that deserve extra are the people sticking together. And like Texas, I think it was Texas was doing it to where you got tax breaks on property taxes. I think this was how they were doing it. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it. But I think it was you got tax breaks if you were a family and you were together, right? If you had,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it was like 2 or 3
That was a real
children.
thing.
Yeah, if you
The
had
more
2 or 3
children you had, the
children,
more tax credits you would. Yeah.
exactly, but you had to be married and together, and it was beneficial to the family. And so that right there, stuff like that, giving extra incentives to families keeping them together and taking away incentives of being a single parent. That right there, number one, that's going to help. Number two, getting rid of the internet porn, stopping with the whole, thought mommies on fucking OnlyFans. Stop glorifying it. Let's fucking shame these people. Let's fucking get back to shaming these people. And
how dare you suggest social hierarchy?
Shaming.
No, I'm saying how dare you sit there and flaunt your fucking shit on
Doug, you need to start a whole nother podcast about morality. This is supposed to be about guns.
Yeah.
And we have fucking
it all ties in together. It
really does. It really
all ties
does
in together.
The morality,
Because like you said, if having a father in the household brings it you have every opportunity, the slightest chance, or you have a lot less chance of going to jail or committing a violent act if a father's in the household. Well, how do you bring fathers back in the household? Morality. Fucking stop sitting there and glorifying fuckboys and one night stands and fucking, whoring it out. And it all starts with the women, because guys will fuck anything that fucking moves.
It's so true, though. It's so true. It really is.
So it has to go back.
Oh, you look at me the right way? Can I put my dick in it? Like, I feel
it goes to the women, right? Women are the strong ones that sit there and they make they have to live with it. So they make this. And
that's why they carry guns.
The determination.
You can't rape someone that carries a firearm.
Exactly, but they make the determination on who puts a baby in them. And if you sit there and you start taking away incentives for fucking single parenthood, a woman's gonna look at it and like, is this man going to be a father to this kid? Maybe I should make you put a rubber on.
There's a large demographic of women or of individuals out there. They're going to cancel all of us because of this episode.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck them.
There's like 13% of them too. So.
Fuck you. I don't give a shit.
Guys, it's getting kind of late. I'm glad I was able to jump in here and be your emergency guest tonight.
Thank you so much.
I'm fading fast. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna go pee and I'm going to sleep. One of these days we'll actually have a full podcast where we just talk about shooting, like when you have my team captain Josh on, where you can actually just talk about guns and not rabbit trail off into the morality of the world we live in. So, they're fun. They're for sure fun, but I'm going to sleep, man. I love you guys to death.
Hey, let's play a morality podcast soon.
Hey, bro, you do not want to do this with me because, like, this is all I think about. This is.
Let's do it, man. I lead
Let's get canceled, bro.
We gotta do one.
Please, no. I work for a large government contract. If I get canceled on social media, people are gonna. Actually, I don't care. I can shoot back.
I don't care if I get canceled. Fuck them.
I don't give a fuck if I get canceled. I got it out the mud.
Canceling. We're canceling cancel culture, baby. We're so back.
Fucking cancel me, bitch.
All right, I'll catch you guys later.
All right,
have
brother.
a good night. Hey,
it was
for
fun.
those of you that watch
Thank
this,
you.
I hope you guys don't have to use lethal force for any reason. Please understand that there's a lot of shit that's going on right now in our country that shouldn't be going on with law enforcement, with self-defense, with this whole spectrum. We kind of touched on a lot of the stuff, but I do honestly hope you guys don't have to use lethal force for any reason. Remember, the whole goal of carrying a firearm is to find ways to not have to use that firearm.
I don't want to use it. I want to be proficient with it in case last ditch effort. It's the last option I have. Absolutely. I have to use it. But no, I don't want to. Like you said earlier, I don't want to be the one to send someone to their judgment. I want everyone to have the chance to live. I like you said, fuck around and find out. Like, I will play that game if that's how you want to play it, but I don't want you to find out.
I don't want to play that game.
I don't want. I will if that's what you really, really want to do, but I don't want to play that game. I don't want you to find out. I want you to live a long, happy, healthy life and make good decisions and find Jesus and do better for this world. But if dying is what you are set on doing, I will send you there. If it's if it's you or my family, I'm picking my family.
Facts. Facts, boys. All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
All right.
I'm gonna listen
Alrighty,
to this
I'll-
on
Thank you for
Spotify
joining us.
sometime next week whenever it was out there. So I'll
Yeah.
see how bad I sound then.
No, you're good. Nice and crispy.
Yeah, have a good night.
All
You
right.
too, thank you.
God bless. Hey, good podcast, y'all. Oh, is that a good doggies?
Is that a good doggies?
That's a really good doggy right
That's
there.
a really, really good doggies.
Butter dog, butter dog. Dog with the butter on them.
I'd like to sniff that dog.
Man,
girl?
oh man.
You
I
being a
want-
good girl, butter?
I
Yeah,
want to sniff
yeah.
the dog.
It's so cool. This guy has an Italian in the
She made a
Italian
death
military, and he's got in the Italian military, and his uniform is set up almost identically to U.S., and he's got halo wings.
Hmm. Dang.
Dude, that's dope, man.
Well, that was nice to get him on, and always
Hey.
nice to talk with him.
Save the podcast. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
My
brother.
man, coming through clutch.
Cool
We
hat.
love you.
At fat guy cool hat. At fat guy cool hat. At fat guy cool hat. Go check him out. Say
Yeah.
it 3 times.
He is
No, it's
he
important.
is a not so fat guy, but with a really cool hat.
Mhm.
That's just a very unique name.
Yeah, he's
But,
not so he's not. I don't feel like he's not as fat as as having a name fat guy.
I'm fat guy, no hat.
Yeah, we got fat guy no hat, and then we got fat guy lame hat.
Mm-hmm. Josh, cool guy, cool hat.
Yeah.
2A hat.
Mm-hmm.
It's what is it? Cool guy snapback trucker hat.
Snapback trucker hat.
I had actually. So I don't know if anyone's ever really noticed on the podcast.
Yep.
But my my hat here, I always flip up the bill,
Yeah.
and I do that for certain reasons. And
Point.
one of my coworkers one time was sitting there making fun of me for it, saying that he was going to skateboard the half pipe or something like that, or snowboard the half pipe, and I laid it down on him hard, saying your big fat ass couldn't skateboard this half pipe if you wanted to. At least I'm athletic enough to do it.
Bro.
No, I'm cool. He's a cool guy. I love messing around with him, but my hat is pretty lame. But I do flip up the bill.
Wow, that defeats the purpose of having a hat.
Flipping up the bill.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because when I have to get under a piece of equipment or
Yeah.
work, then it just kind of folds into it, and I don't have to take my hat off.
Mm-hmm.
Also, back in the day when I was riding my Harley, and I was in Texas not wearing a helmet like a goofball, I could wear a hat,
Thing.
and it acted as like some sort of spoiler and didn't fly off my head.
Mm.
It was actually staying on my head as I was riding down the road on my cool guy Harley, but mainly because I do it now because, like I said, when I have to get underneath a piece of equipment and lay on my back, I don't have to take my hat off. I can
Right
just sit
on,
there,
brother.
and it props my head up like a little stand.
Dude, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
How exciting.
You can get closer when you're doing your little sucking blow.
Yeah, exactly.
You leave your hat on. It's like, I'm fucking with you, man.
It props my head up as I have multiple guys around me.
Yo,
I am the Ookie Cookie.
yo, you crazy, man.
I want to know. Have you ever seen The Rare? I want to know, man. What do you guys think? Tell me, is this real or is this fake?
I can't see shit.
Is that a real Sasquatch or is that a fake picture?
It look kind of CGI-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you been rolling this around in your head, Josh?
Well, I mean,
See, around the mouth looks kind of fake to me.
What do you think about this hair right here? I mean, it kind of looks real. Like I don't know. It's hard to tell. There's
But
a
it's like the
documentary
face.
called Discovering Bigfoot. This is the journey into the heart of Sasquatch country with Todd Standing.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, he was like he was on the forefront of Sasquatch research, but I don't want to go too deep into it. But yeah, what were you saying?
The face kind of looks fake to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. Have you seen the videos? The video of that Sasquatch, you can see him standing there and he blinks. It's
think-
very
I
odd,
think
dude.
I've seen that before.
Wait,
I've
hey
seen.
guys, I gotta get off.
Okay,
All right, my brother. Well, thank you for hanging out. We had a
Yes.
good podcast.
it was a good podcast, man.
It was a very good podcast.
Twas, but
I will hit y'all up in a little bit,
in a
Okay.
little bit, you coming back?
or not tomorrow. No, I mean tomorrow. Why did I say a little bit? I was looking at the time. It was 1:37 a.m. and I was like, I gotta be up. But Delilah, oh shoot, dang it, my kid is crying, and so I gotta go take care of that.
Okay.
My man.
All right.
All right, God
Be a
bless you,
good
brother.
father.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay,
Love you,
bye.
bye.
Okay, bye. Wang. Wang.
Why?
He's still here. We love you.
We love you long time.
Dang. I was trying to put him on solo.
Mhm.
So, Rob,
Mhm.
here we are. Here's the video, by the way. And you can tell me what you think. I mean, you know, the Canadian Sasquatch, the original footage by Todd Standing. Oh, sorry, you can't see it. Presentation. Sean. All right, you let me know.
Mhm.
Thoughts?
I think I've seen this before.
Yeah, you probably have. So he's like, I guess, super far away, and
Mhm.
he just zooms into a spot to where he thinks he sees a. I mean, where he thinks he sees a Sasquatch. He's been like researching and tracking animals for a long time,
Mhm.
and I guess he's become like privy to some of their techniques. But the thing is, it's like I think the Sasquatch is going like I think you'll only see a Sasquatch if it wants you to see them. Like you'll never see them. Like you'll never catch them off guard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when it blinked, it looked fake.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't look real, that blink. It was like a really slow and deliberate blink too. It was not a regular blink.
It kind of looked animatronic, maybe.
Yeah, when you blink, it's usually like really fast. It's not like slow like that was.
Mhm.
And this one is like, I don't know, it looks like an Eskimo.
Mhm.
It looks like a big head on a stick, and he's just waving it like a little bit back and forth.
Mhm. Like that one just looks creepy.
Yeah, man. And this one just looks like the regular Sasquatch, the one that turned around and looked at the camera.
Yeah.
Because he's got a pointy head, yeah?
Yeah. Would you be scared if you would see one of them, Josh?
Yeah, I'd be pretty scared. I've heard they're like super tall.
Mhm. See, that looked fake there.
That looked fake too. And the reason why I say that is because most of the videos I've seen of Sasquatch traversing like dense terrain like this and like
Mhm.
steep hills and mountains,
Mhm.
they're flying through it. They're gliding. Now, when
Mhm.
he's running up this hill here, it looks like he's like struggling kind of to get up the hill.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I mean, even if it was a guy in a suit, that's kind of
Yeah.
impressive, I guess.
I know it's stuff out here that we can't explain.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying there's no such thing as Bigfoot, but from the evidence that I've seen before, it doesn't look real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard.
Because trust
Hard.
me, like I've been in the wood, deep in the woods before when it's dark, and you get a scary feeling. When everything gets silent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? No bugs or nothing, and
Yeah,
then
man. Even the bugs stop.
hmm and then the hair on your arms and on the back of your neck stand on end, and you just feel like, uh, wow, something. It feels like something is watching me. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah, you
So,
get that creepy
yeah,
something. Yeah,
I'm not saying it was Bigfoot, but
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
there's stuff out there that can't be explained.
Yeah, man. I there was a story about a guy who was I believe he was biking or maybe he was on a hike or something. Either way, he was in the woods, and while he was there, he also had that feeling like I'm
hmm
being watched by something, or something is watching me and following me or something while he was walking.
hmm
Anyway, as it turns out, somebody, I think a handful of people had reported a mountain lion walking through the trails where people normally walk.
hmm
And apparently, this guy, I think he said he had seen the mountain lion, and then he realized that's what was stalking him.
hmm
And there's some kind of ability or some kind of sixth sense where humans can sense the predator, like the predator in the area, or it's something the predator was like projecting onto the human, like,
hmm
you know what I mean? That I don't know, but there's always that common theme of like I feel like I'm being watched kind of feeling.
hmm
It's like we don't know what that feeling is. Like I said, people call it the sixth sense, but it's like you can tell you're being watched. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
and not in a good way.
Or yeah, you're being watched, or something is not right.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I
know
think
what I mean?
sometimes it could be the Holy Spirit prompting you, like, hey, something. I mean, I don't think the Holy Spirit will come and make you feel like that, like terrified. I just think it would make you like alert and be like, I need to do this. Like
hmm
I don't know. It's hard to say, you know. Like
Yeah, because I've been in places before and I got that feeling, like in like a public place. I'm like, I don't know, something just don't feel right. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's hard to explain.
yeah, it is. There's some mystical stuff going on out there.
Mhm. And I grew to listen to that little voice inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
'Cause
man.
I haven't listened to it before and it didn't end up good. So even if it seems like just crazy, I try to listen to it.
Yeah, man. The Holy Spirit. That's why. Remember when Jesus leaves, uh, he tells them, "I'm sending a helper." Holy Spirit is our helper. Like
hmm
he's here and he's helping us. You know what I mean? They always talk about relying on the Spirit, being attentive to what the Spirit has to say, or how the Spirit is moving in your life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, help me to uh, God. Praying to God, help me to listen to your Spirit. Help me to hear your voice more clearly. Help me to um, understand the difference between like my own thoughts and what the spirit is telling you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like so you can differentiate between the Holy Spirit and you know what your own thoughts are. So
Mhm.
and you know most of the time it's sometimes it's hard to tell, but you know
Mhm.
you know when you know, man.
Yeah.
Like it's like okay, I know this is God. Like you know, driving down the street and taking your normal route, but then it's like I feel like I have this sudden urge to like take a left here instead. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm. Or don't go down that dark alley.
Yeah, exactly. Don't go down the dark alley.
I'm playing, but yeah.
Yeah, man. So very interesting stuff, man. It's pretty cool
Mhm.
that we talked about that because you know I'm a big fan of the topic of Sasquatch and stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
But hey, guys, check out GoliathDefense.com. You can also check out CockedFirearms.com, where you can use promo code 2AB to get 10% off anything on the website.
Is that called foreshadowing, Josh, or am I? That means something else.
Foreshadowing is like giving hints to something that will be happening in the future.
Mm. That's not like the film we were just talking about.
Oh, foreshadowing? No, I wouldn't say it's foreshadowing. I would say it's like uh when you get that feeling, it's like I don't know. Like I said before, it's like what is it? What would you call it? I think it's I'm trying to like find a single word to describe that, but I think it's like if I could use a couple words instead of foreshadowing, I would use um like it's like you're being put on alert or you're being like notified or something.
Mhm.
Not necessarily foreshadowing an event that's going to take place, but giving you wisdom prior to
Mhm.
like just giving you like yeah, there you go, forethought or foreknowledge like that. That's a good
Foresight.
one. Yeah, foresight, you know, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Or insight.
Yeah. It's yeah. Hindsight. It's like I'm playing.
Yeah, right.
That's something completely.
That's 2020.
Yeah. You ain't lying, man. You ain't lying.
Yep. But it's good. It's very interesting. And it's really it's cool to see that kind of stuff like play
Mhm.
out like when you like experience that and it's like hey, you know what I mean, like God's looking out for me, you know. It's
But
nice to do that.
I would like to know like what trips that's like God, I guess. But what trips that sense are in your mind or that like something isn't right. You know what I mean? I know you said God, and I believe that too, but you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it.
Well, it could be, you know, so
Like
it could also be
in our
demonic stuff. What's up?
like what in our brain, what trips in our brain.
What indeed? It's a very interesting topic. Oh, I can still hear you.
What I'm trying to get this camera to
Yeesh.
work. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Right.
You looking good, Rab.
Thank you, man. I try.
My
But
man.
what in our mind gives us is that like the will to survive.
You're
You know what
talking about fight or flight.
Huh?
You're talking about fight or flight.
I guess
Like
yeah.
your instincts is what they
Yes,
call it.
instinct.
I've heard.
Instinct. Yeah.
I do think that God, like, he programmed into our DNA and our, like, our cognitive abilities and stuff. I do think that we have some kind of, like, level of, like, self-preservation,
Mhm.
but, like, obviously there's also a spiritual level that is unexplainable. Now,
Mhm.
in a completely, like, physical sense, like I was saying, maybe they call it brain waves or something. I've also heard people call it, like, infrasound or something like that, where, like I said, the infrasound was projecting, like, that fear onto the prey.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I don't know if that was intentional or a side effect of just the predator's abilities, but you have your physical. I think there's, like, your physical, because there's electricity in your body. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Your brain is producing, like, brain waves at, like, specific frequencies,
Mhm.
and so I think there's that, and then I think you have the spirit because, like I said, the spirits. It's like going on all around us. We
Mhm.
wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers, principalities, rulers of the darkness. Um, and so that's a whole nother thing, like, completely different.
Mhm.
But they say you can pray. You pray. Yeah, for your spiritual warfare. You know,
Mhm.
the word of God is two-edged sword, uh, or sharper than any two-edged sword. Um, it is for the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So the word of God, using that as a tool against spiritual warfare, super
Mhm.
important, because it's not like you're just reading words off a page or reciting words off a page. It's like I just read, it's alive, or it's
Mhm.
powerful. You know what I mean? The Bible also does say that um, it is living and active. This is also that was Hebrew. That is also the same one. For the word of God is alive and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit. It penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart. So, pretty impressive.
Mhm. God is good.
All the time. Mm-mm.
I'll be
He
right back.
is good.
I
Yes,
gotta
sir.
use the pee room.
What it do?
The B room.
Oh, okay, got you.
Bathroom.
30th AG Reception Battalion. Good times. Uh, Purgatory. 30th AG, man. Reception Battalion. Private News Network. So that's wild, bro. But probably for motivating the drill, the senior drill sergeant to type faster. All right, so a lot's been happening. Man, people are going crazy. Like they talking about all this crazy stuff that President Trump is doing, man. And I'm just like, you know what? A lot of you guys are flipping out over nothing. It's like they're afraid of the accountability that is coming to the United States government. It's like they're afraid of everything that is coming to light, all the wasted spending, all of the embezzlement, all of the fraud, everything that's coming to light is like freaking people out. And I'm like, well, number one, your life is going to go on as normal. Your life's not going to change dramatically, except maybe the price might drop. You might save a little money, but people are tripping out over nothing on how like fraud is coming to light, and they're figuring out that government officials are involved in illegal money laundering. Huh?
They're figuring out the government is corrupt.
Exactly. Yeah. Like government's corrupt, and it's like
Like
I
these,
mean we kind of knew that, but now it's just it's public information.
you know what I find funny? How these people saying the
What's up?
government shouldn't be allowed to go through stuff. IRS and all that other stuff
Yeah.
to them, but they was doing it to years to us.
Yeah.
They talk about Trump shouldn't be able to look through this and do that. Why? You've been doing it to us for to Americans for how many years?
Yep.
Why is it all of a sudden a problem when you're under the scope?
Exactly.
Like why?
Yep. All that money going to those universities, all the money coming from what were we talking about? Oh, and the insurance companies, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
the insurance fraud and the people like oh my goodness, man. It's
Like, yeah.
insane. Like insurance companies, like they will do everything in their power to not fulfill like insurance
Mhm.
claims and like uh what was it they will never honor a warranty. It's like they do everything in their power to like make sure they're gonna continue pocketing your money and spend not a cent on your warranty or insurance claims.
Mhm.
It's insane. Like we're running into this issue now with the car that has a part that's not made anymore. The part was discontinued. And so because that part has been discontinued, the insurance company they won't honor the warranty on it, which is crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like we got to get the part, and if it happens to not be the issue, like if there's other issues with the car, because it's like a handful of things, and we believe that one thing has affected all the other stuff. So if
Mhm.
this issue is fixed by this part that was discontinued, that we're gonna orders from, it's like a OEM. We'll have to get an OEM, order it from somewhere random, like find it. We'll find it, but then they'll fulfill the warranty. But as long as this issue is here in the car, it's the ABS module thing, or a part of the ABS system,
Mhm.
that the warranty won't cover the repairs because of the ABS. If we can fix it, the ABS thing, and the rest of the issues persist, then the warranty will cover those repairs. But as long as that's there, it's not. It's so dumb, dude. Especially on a discontinued part. It's like, what's the point of having the insurance or the warranty now?
Right.
So
What car?
anyway,
What car is that on?
it's a Ford Escape.
The red one.
Yeah, Escape.
Like they find any way for them not to do what they say they're gonna do.
Seriously, they will find a way, and they will make sure they spend $0.
They will spend money to fight it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think what's his name made a good point. Eric, he made a good point. If you're gonna sue, if you're gonna go after the police, go after the individual cop, not the state.
Hmm. That's smart.
Yeah, man.
Like I say, I've been saying it for the longest time. If these people that make these unconstitutional laws had to spend their own money to take it to court and spend their own money when they lose instead of the state, I bet you all this bullshit would stop.
If they what?
Well, if when these states make these unconstitutional laws,
Mhm.
and I bet if the people that like like these gun laws that these states try to fight to keep the unconstitutional ones, I bet if they had to use their personal money to take it to court and fight it instead of taxpayers' money, and they, their money to take it to court, and if they lose, take their money, I bet you the bullshit will stop.
Yep. Of course it would, man. When it comes to their money, it's like, no, thank you. But when it comes to the state's money, it's like, oh yeah, well, we'll spend that as much as we like.
Exactly. And I better say, if you lose, this coming out of your money, not the state money, your money,
Yeah, exactly. Your taxpayer dollars are funding this.
right? I wonder how many, how much of this bullshit is still be happening.
Yeah, man. I don't think much of it would be happening because if one thing is for sure, man. When it comes to the government, dude, it's like somehow every time it happens every time, man. Somebody gets elected and they end up finishing their term a multimillionaire,
Exactly.
you know, at
Hmm.
taxpayers' expense. And that's why I'm glad that this Doge, uh, this administration, the Doge, what's it called? The cabinet or whatever.
Hmm.
I don't know, whatever. Doge
Yeah.
is gonna bring this all to light.
This bin should have happened.
Dude, we save so much money already, man.
Like, why in the fuck are we sending money over to other countries for DI bullshit or trans fucking plays and shit?
Yeah, why are we funding that like trans and DEI education overseas? That doesn't even make sense. Like we paid somebody to go overseas and teach that stuff to foreigners. Like,
I think that money went in someone's pocket over here. They just needed to figure out a way to make it disappear.
you know what? They probably paid somebody to hop on a Zoom chat with some foreign people and teach them that way. They would not pay for them to fly over there and do it.
Hmm. Like, the corruption is fucking crazy, man.
Seriously, bro.
And they, I don't even really know, man. I just bit my jaw.
That's all good, homie. On some candy, dude. Check this out, bro. The USA. If anybody's interested, also I got two big events coming up. All right. Also, it's 2/22/2025. Is today's date. Now that it's past midnight. So February 28th is all the seven planets will be in the sky, from Mercury,
I was about to
Venus,
name drop. I'm glad I
Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus will
hmm
all be in the sky at one time.
hmm
What were you about to say?
I was about to name drop somebody because that's after somebody's birthday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Um, that's
Should I sacrifice a goat? It's like I'm playing.
yeah, right.
I'm playing, Josh.
Neck boy. So yeah, that February 28th is the planetary, like, I forget what they called it, but it's, yeah, all the planets are going to be in the sky on that night. And then March 13, 14 is the total lunar eclipse. That's when the moon turns red. When the moon goes inside the Earth's shadow, the moon, the Earth blocks sunlight from hitting the moon, and we'll be able to. The moon turns blood red, so we'll be able to see that.
Should I sacrifice something then?
What is? Yeah, maybe when the moon turns red. So UTC time is 7. So that means UTC is 6 hours ahead of me. So that means if it happens that, so 3, 2, 1, 12, 11, 10, 9:57 p.m. 9:57 p.m. on March 13. And then that'll be 07. Okay, cool. At least for me. So it'll probably be 10:57 your time when the total lunar eclipse happens. At that time. Dude, that's so cool, man. I can't wait. This is gonna be awesome, dude. We can't maybe we'll do a live stream. What day is that? Let's say March. That is Thursday night to Friday morning. What's up?
Did you read the text? I don't think he said that, did he?
He did.
I didn't catch it.
It was at the very end, right before he hopped off.
Mistakes happen.
Yep, it's all good though. He's still a good boy.
A good old boy.
What's up?
He a good old boy, Josh?
Goodo.
Just a good old boy.
Yep, lots of good, cool stuff happening. Lots of stuff. Also, huh?
Is that good?
I hit up my cousins. You know what I'm saying? The 2 daughters.
Yeah.
To see what's going on. No information yet.
No deets.
But I will let you know. Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah, I thought that was some wild accusations, but you know.
Without revealing any information, are you allowed to say who it was? Who told you or who you heard it from?
Nah. But you probably have a good idea.
Is it E?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, we're still alive, bro.
Yeah, we're still alive. I'm gonna hit up. Just want to hit up. See what's going on. I heard a rumor that
I see a little silhouette of a man. Calamo, Dorandanga.
Nice, bro.
Galileo. Galileo. How do you feel about Freddie Mercury, Josh?
Talented.
Mm.
What do you think?
Yeah,
He's
hell
got
of a
talents. Skip mad skills.
definitely, man. He had the skills to pay the bills.
Were these skills? Did they give you the chills?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Guys, GoliathDefense.com and CockedFirearms.com. Go check us all out, please.
American asshole.
All right. Well, I guess we can wrap this up, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you all for watching. It was a great podcast.
Mhm.
Surprise guest this time. That was awesome.
Mhm.
Eric,
Yes,
that guy Cool Hat. Go check him out, please.
he came through. He's a good man.
Yeah, he's great.
And he's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah,
A
man, he
very,
really is. Yeah.
very intelligent person.
Yep, he's a good man.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a. I want to hear more of his testimony, but yeah, he's got a good outlook, perspective, and he's got, like you said, he's got a lot of knowledge and wisdom when it comes to firearms training, firearms training, and
Right?
rights. Yeah, too. Him.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. Hopefully, we can have him back on soon
Yes,
to share
definitely.
more of his wisdom with us.
That
And
guy,
you guys,
okay.
ask
Mhm.
ask questions, comment, like, share, please. And you can follow us on Kick. You can follow us on Kick. You can follow us on Instagram, X, Rumble, YouTube. You can also hear our podcast audio on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and iHeartRadio. Check us out there.
Mhm.
And one more time, like I said, 2A Brotherhood podcast is sponsored by Goliath Defense and Cocked Firearms. You can go to both of those websites, GoliathDefense.com and CockedFirearms.com, and use promo code 2AB
Mhm.
at checkout to get 10% off anything on the site.
Get cocked.
Thank you for your for your sponsorship. We love you guys, and we'll see you next Friday.
Good night.
All right, love you guys.
Now you guys.
See you soon.
I at the time of my day.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.